Have you ever pondered about the deep roots of the land of the rising sun? Let's embark on a journey back in time, to an era when the first footprints were etched into the soil of this ancient land. We begin in the Paleolithic period, a time when early humans crafted tools from stone and bone. Progressing into the Jomon period, we see a society blossoming through the craft of pottery, their coiled clay creations speaking volumes about their evolving culture. As we move into the Yayoi period, we witness the dawn of rice cultivation, a practice that would become fundamental to Japanese society. Then comes the Kofun period, marked by the construction of grand burial mounds, the final resting places of powerful leaders, the silent witnesses of the passage of time. The seeds of a distinct culture were sown during these early periods, setting the stage for the grandeur that was to come. But when did Japan start to take the shape we know today? Well, it begins with the Asuka and Nara periods, a time of significant transformation and growth. This was when the Yamato court, the historical aristocracy of Japan, began to assert its power, laying the foundations of a nation. In the Asuka period, Japan started to absorb cultural influences from China and Korea, leading to a profound shift in its societal structure. It was during this era that Buddhism was introduced to Japan. This new faith, with its intricate rituals and profound philosophies, found favor with the Yamato court. Buddhism did not merely alter the spiritual landscape of Japan, but also had a profound impact on its art, architecture, and even politics. As we move into the Nara period, we see the establishment of a centralized government based on the Chinese model. This was a radical shift from the previous clan-based system, and it played a pivotal role in the unification of Japan. The Yamato court, now more powerful than ever, took the reins of this new government, marking the beginning of a new era. But perhaps the most significant milestone of the Nara period was the creation of Japan's first written constitution, known as the 17-Article Constitution. Drafted under the guidance of Prince Shotoku, this constitution laid out moral and political principles for the ruling class. It emphasized the importance of harmony and respect among the people, values that are still deeply ingrained in Japanese culture today. The influence of foreign cultures, the rise of a centralized government, the introduction of Buddhism, and the creation of a written constitution, all these factors contributed to the birth of a unified Japan. The Asuka and Nara periods thus laid the groundwork for the nation we know today. Thus, Japan embarked on the path of becoming a unified state. And as we'll soon discover, this was just the beginning of an extraordinary journey. Could you imagine a time when warriors weren't the rulers of Japan? Let's journey back to the Heian period, a golden era of Japanese history from the late 8th to the late 12th centuries. During this time, the imperial court in Kyoto was the center of political power, and society was dominated by aristocracy. The Heian period is often romanticized for its flourishing of art and literature, a time when beauty and aesthetics were valued above all else. The Tale of Genji, widely considered the world's first novel, was born in this era, showcasing the intricate court life and romantic escapades of its time. But while the court was engrossed in poetry and music outside the capital, there was a different story unfolding. The central government's grip was weakening, and local landowners began to rise in power. They needed protection for their estates and turned to private military for help. This was the birth of the samurai, a warrior class that would come to define the face of Japan for centuries to come. The shift of power from the court to the samurai wasn't overnight. It was a gradual process, culminating in the Kamakura period, where the samurai, led by the Minamoto clan, established the first shogunate, or military government. It was a stark contrast to the elegance of the Heian court. The samurai valued martial skills and discipline, and their rule was marked by the code of Bushido, the way of the warrior. This was a time of great change in Japan. As the samurai began to rule, the country moved away from the refined court culture of the Heian period towards a society dominated by military power and discipline. This marked a significant shift in power dynamics, paving the way for centuries of samurai rule. What happens when a nation plunges into a century-long civil war? This question brings us to the Sengoku period, a tumultuous era of Japanese history marked by incessant warfare and political intrigue. It was a time when the once powerful shogunate government was in decline, leading to a power vacuum that many ambitious warlords sought to fill. In the midst of this chaos, the country was divided into multiple territories, each ruled by a different daimyo or feudal lord. These lords were constantly at odds with each other, battling for supremacy and control of the land. This constant struggle for power, coupled with the instability of the era, led to the onslaught of a civil war that lasted for over 100 years. However, out of this turmoil emerged a figure who would change the course of Japanese history forever. Toyotomi Hideyoshi. A farmer's son turned military strategist, Hideyoshi was a man of unprecedented ambition and cunning. Through a combination of strategic alliances and ruthless warfare, he gradually consolidated power, eventually succeeding in unifying the warring states under his rule. But the Sengoku period was not only about warfare and power struggles, it was also a time of significant cultural and technological exchange. The arrival of European traders introduced new commodities and ideas to the Japanese people. Among these were firearms, which revolutionized warfare in Japan. The introduction of these weapons played a significant role in shaping the strategies and outcomes of the battles during this era. The Sengoku period, while characterized by chaos and warfare, was also a period of immense change and growth. It was an era that saw the transformation of Japan from a fragmented land of warring states to a unified nation. It was a time that brought forth leaders and warriors who left an indelible mark on the fabric of Japanese history. Out of the chaos, a unified Japan emerged once again. How did Japan leap from a feudal society to a modern industrial nation within a few decades? This transformation, my friends, is the story of a period called the Meiji era, which began in the mid-19th century when the emperor reclaimed his full political power, ending the shogunate rule. The Meiji Restoration, as it's known, was more than just a political shift. It was a rapid, breathtaking modernization of Japan. The leaders of the Meiji government looked to the industrialized West and decided that if Japan was to protect its sovereignty, it too needed to modernize. And so Japan adopted Western technology, education, and even fashion, all while maintaining a strong sense of national identity. But the Meiji era was just the start. The subsequent Taisho era saw further democratization and the rise of popular culture, while the Showa era, despite the devastating impact of World War II, was a time of significant economic recovery and development. After the war, Japan was left in ruins, but it didn't remain that way for long. The country undertook a phenomenal recovery, rebuilding its cities and industries with a remarkable speed and efficiency. The Japanese people, guided by their indomitable spirit, turned their homeland from a war-torn nation into an economic titan. This remarkable transformation continued into the Heisei era, with Japan becoming a global leader in technology and innovation. Today, in the Reiwa era, Japan continues to evolve and adapt, while retaining its unique culture and traditions. The story of modern Japan is one of resilience and reinvention. It's about a nation that was able to transform itself, not once but multiple times, always rising to meet the challenges of the day. The journey of Japan from the Meiji Restoration to the modern era is a testament to the indomitable spirit of its people, their perseverance, and their unwavering commitment to progress. From the ashes of war, Japan emerged as an economic powerhouse, standing tall in the world stage. So what is the essence of Japan's history? Japan, a land of paradoxes, where the old meets the new and traditions intertwine with modernity. It's a tale of resilience, a testament to the enduring spirit of a people who have faced challenges with grace and courage. From the enigmatic origins to the emergence of a unified state, the rise of samurai during the Heian period, the tumultuous era of warring states, to the transformative Meiji Restoration, and into the modern age, Japan's history is a fascinating journey of adaptation and evolution. It's a narrative that underscores the strength of its people, their ability to endure, adapt, and innovate. The essence of Japan lies not merely in its past, but in how it has used its history to shape its present and future. In the end, the history of Japan is a testament to the enduring spirit of its people, standing as a beacon of resilience and innovation.